Hi guys. So if you remember my last video about the tutorials, then this is going to be the first of two because I don't really have time to do all the rest, but maybe I'll get to them. So the most voted on tutorial was a body tutorial, and as I said in the other one, I probably wasn't going to do one, but I thought it over and I was like, why not? Except this one isn't a proportion tutorial, may I warn you. This is my way of keeping my proportions, like a technique that I find the easiest to keep my proportions, if that makes sense. Like, you should know your proportions, that the whole body is like 8 heads, etc., etc. I'm not going over that because I'm pretty sure Mark Crilley has like 2 videos or maybe even more on that. So you can go over to his channel if you want proportions. But this is my technique on how to keep my proportions. Because you know your proportions, but sometimes an arm can become more longer than the other, and it's hard to just freehand it. So this is my way, which is a way, not the way. Okay. So I'm going to start. I'm not going to go over the head and stuff. I'm just going over the general body shape. So, let me do it this way. Okay. So, I'm just going to start with the head, which is just a circle. It's not perfect. And I'm not one for guidelines, really. I just go by my knowledge of anatomy. So, in anime style, or manga style, this part right here, usually I just put a line right under the circle. That will signify as the cheekbone, which is low, but this isn't realistic, obviously. So I'm just going to quickly do the head. And typically I'll just draw in the eyes, but in case you guys want to know, this isn't going to be a face tutorial. The eyes can go here or lower or wherever, so yeah, typically the nose will go right here. Okay, anyways, continuing. I'm just gonna do one that's kind of a body that's not straightforward, but rather turned a little bit. Because honestly, no one is going to be completely like facing you. And this is gonna be a female, because I can't draw guys. Okay, so the neck, it can be thicker than this, but personally for my style, I like a thinner neck. So, usually about near the point of the jaw, and this is where the ear would be. So, it's kind of like that. Okay, the ear's over a little bit too much. But I think you guys get the idea. Or whatever. And let's just draw the ear on the other side. Okay, you don't see that much of it, but there. So it's pretty thin. And this is how I do this. So the shoulders, this is how to remember how to do the shoulders. Just like this little wave that goes down. It's not like that. It's more like just being natural with it. It's just like a little hill, little wave that goes down like this and curves upwards. And if it helps you with drawing shoulders, do a line like this and then draw the shoulders. That's also where the collarbone is. Like, just something like that if that helps you. Continuing, so there's this. And I don't draw, like some people just like to go to the boobs and draw them. No, I don't do that. I kind of draw out the shape of the ribcage first. So let me do this and then I'll show you. Kind of like that. So if you notice people from the side, they stand, this is what their backs look like. Like here's the neck. And then it kind of curves like that. So this curve right here, like here's a shoulder. Okay, so here's that curve right there. That's from the rib cage. And I usually indicate it this way to make it easier for myself, instead of like doing the stick trick. Okay, then you can draw circles in for the shoulders. That's what I sometimes do. And for arms, I'm just gonna have the arms like outward. And this is how I usually do it. Let's see here. I usually use, like, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen body tutorials where shapes are used. I use those as well, except I make them a little bit closer to human anatomy with more curves. So like that. And usually this should be approximately the same length as this. It can be longer than this. But since this is manga style, you can do it like a little bit higher, a little bit lower. It'll look the same. And I do the same thing with this part of the arm. And the elbow is right here. And typically it will go down like that, so your arm is kind of curving. So this is just a stick, a quick model, and then I add the flesh on top. So there's that. And I don't really have a trick for drawing this part. I just draw it from the ribcage. If you think about it, it's not going to be like up here. You can make it up there, but then you're going to... Okay, the next part, I'll just show you, and then I'll go back to why I drew this part here. Okay, so we're leading on to the stomach. This is where the stomach is, around here. And then here comes the hip bone. There's a hip bone. And sometimes I'll just, you know, draw just some sort of shape that looks somewhat similar, like that, just that I can use to represent the pelvis. So I'll just draw like something like this. It is, I don't have like a fixed way, I just draw as I go. So there's that, and here's the hip bone. And the hip bone comes out a little bit more than this part. I draw rather curvy girls, so I make a rather pronounced hip bone. You can make it smaller, doesn't matter. On this side too. See this little part that comes out? So there's that so far, and I think we should get to the boobs now, and including that, sorry, I have trouble speaking. This part right here, you could make the ribcage smaller, but you'd have to work a little bit more to elongate this part, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult not to make it look too long. But I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Okay, so on to the boobies. The boobs do not come up to the shoulder blade. This is something that I don't have a method for. I just automatically do it. If it helps you, just a little bit lower than the shoulder blade. Just make a little thing right here. And typically boobs go like this. Stick out like that, and then here's the rib cage, and so I would just like to warn you, that's how it actually looks like. So like that, something like that, and then I'll just make an indication right here. Doesn't have to be pronounced, because that's not the point of the video. Anyways, so now that we're right here, for legs, I do the same thing as with the arms. I just make little shapes or tubule kind of figures to represent the legs. And since she's standing this way, this part overlaps the other leg a little bit. Okay, get rid of these lines. so you can see a little better. And this is where her, I'll just call it her groin or her crotch area. Okay, so there's that. And remember over here, the hip bone comes out, so the leg doesn't go straight down. It comes down at a curve, like toward inward. This side too, but I don't know if you can see it. Let me erase this and redo it in a more pronounced way. Kind of like that. It looks a bit awkward, but it curves inwards. I don't really know how to explain it, but like that to give curves. This is not a very curvy girl. If you want me to make a curvy girl, then just wah. Anyways, so there's that. You can put circles there if you want to indicate the joint or the knee, but I'm not going to. And then I do the same thing with this. I just put a general, just a general shape for that. I'm not too concerned about. Okay. So, since she's standing this way, her calf is going to be pointing backward. Like, not really backward, but something like that. And here, this usually helps me where her knee is, to know where her knee is. Go like this. And sometimes you can just do this before and then draw the leg out. Okay, I kind of added meat to it. But that's the gist of this. So most of the body is drawn just with shapes. And I'll just do the arm really quick. Okay. So we have both arms. This one looks a little bit awkward, but honestly I don't know what to do with it, so we're just gonna have it right there, and she's gonna look like she's about to punch someone in the face. So here's just a quick indication of her hands folding inward like that. This is not a hand tutorial, therefore I will not go over hands. Not that I'm good enough to teach other people how to do that. So now we have just the bolt T shape. I'll put it this way so you can see all of it. And now I'm going to add some flesh to this, and I'm going to add that with a darker pencil or a pen. I will be right back. Okay, I'm just going to add it with a pen. With a micron, okay. So I'm not going to go over the head because you don't really need to do that. But over here. So to help you, this is the line that connects over there. That connects the chest area with the arm. And you can, if you want her to be somewhat muscular with a little muscle, just make a little protrusion right there. Nothing much. Like that. Or you could just leave it flat. Whatever you want. So, with the neck, the skin comes from the back over here. So, it's gonna look like this. Guys have a more pronounced, I don't even know what that is, but this part that comes from the back, but just a little bit. Guys are more like this. Here's their head, like the chin, the jaw, and here's the neck, and it usually comes up like a lot, and then And this pen is running out. Great. Okay, so then here, near the shoulder, let me try and zoom in. Okay. Near the shoulder here, the line kind of comes in a little bit too. And then you go out a little bit, and then you just draw the rest of the shoulder. It's not like as much as this, just make an indication that there is some skin coming in, like that. And here's the elbow. And typically the side is pretty straight. And then over here, you have like this piece, like, not this piece, oh my gosh, this muscle right here. And it goes like that. So it has a little bump right here. You can honestly just sketch this out. Normally I just sketch over this, but I'm doing this so that you guys can see better. Right there, and this is just to indicate that there is an indentation of sorts right there. And I'm not going to go over the hands. So over here, usually with the shoulder, this part, the back, will typically be like that. I'm sorry I keep saying typically. That's the only word I can think of at this moment. But it goes down like that, kind of. That, just imagine this, the back, hanging from the shoulder. That sounds weird, but that's kind of how it is. From the side, from this view anyways. And if this helps you, you can also make a line going in that way. And then for the collarbone, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, my anatomy is screwed up today. Okay, so this part doesn't have many details to go over. You just go over it like that. And then inwards. And the calf usually is up here and then goes down, slopes down. That's where that muscle is. And I forgot what it's called because I only remember that up here is the gluteus maximus, quadriceps, and then I don't remember what's down here. So you go up and then you slope down kind of like that. Oh, actually no, more like this. I used to have difficulty doing this because I would go in too far, but just go in and then just go straight down. Just do it with pencil a ton of times, it should help. And then over here, near the crotch area, or the groin, it kind of comes out. The skin curves out and then goes down like that. But it's not that pronounced. If you're drawing a really, really skinny girl, then this would go in even more. Okay, sorry about that. My phone ran out of memory. I don't even know how phones run out of memory that fast, because I only have pictures, and pictures aren't that big. But anyways, so that little chunk of whatever comes out and kind of drapes down inward, kind of like a hill almost, and then comes out. It's a little bit, let me see, how can I say this? So, the leg usually comes out like this, and then it kind of comes in if you don't have that much muscle. And then your knee ends up, okay. Sorry, I can't talk today, as with every day. So here's your knee, and your leg kind of like, if you don't have that much muscle, it kind of goes in a little bit, and then goes down. So this is what I have right here. Typically I draw more muscle on my girls' legs, but this is just a general thing because most anime girls don't have that muscular legs. So same thing with this here. Here's part of the calf. And I usually have the calves like more upward. than down here, because some people can put them like down here, but I don't know, that doesn't look right. They're usually up here. And then it just curves in like that. And while my phone was transferring the file, I decided to draw in the feet. This is not a feet tutorial, so I'm just gonna quickly just go over this and I'll tell you what I did. So with your feet are kind of like your hands in a sense, where it's like that. Here's your big toe, your next toe, etc, etc, etc. Okay, that's too many, but still, you get the idea. So it kind of curves down like this. And that is what you do here, except it looks rounder. If you're going to wear shoes, this is where your pinky toe is. And I don't really draw people with bare feet, so I only draw them with shoes, which is why you see this curve right here. Usually shoes are easier to draw. It's a curve where, I don't know how to explain this, but the middle is usually a little bit longer. And since she's turning this way, it's kind of facing us, kind of. While this one, you'll see more of the heel. And this is the big toe, comes up a little bit, and kind of goes in like that. It could even kind of go in like this. Like the big toe is right here. I said it over there by accident, but it kind of goes in like that. So the big toe is inward, so that part is going to be... I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of difficult to explain feet, to be honest. But just remember, it's bigger over here. There's like a curve, but the big toe, it's not going to be like this, where this is where the big toe, so you go like that. No, it's like more in the middle. That's up for like a huger tutorial for some reason, because feet are annoying. Anyways, here's this thigh, her left thigh, or our left. And then I'll just do the same thing. So the calf up here, and then I'll go down. And curve inward. And this is where her ankle bone is, but that's on the other side, so you don't see that. But on this side you could, but since her foot is turned this way, you don't see it as much, but it would normally be around here, and you could like indicate with a bump like that if you really wanted to. So there's that, and then I'll start from up here. So starting at her boob, or her breast, let me zoom in. There is this that goes down and then goes into her breast. Because your boob just doesn't just come out. There's some skin that hangs onto it and then it goes out. This might be awkward, but that's anatomy, so gotta stick with it, y'all. Okay, this one, just outline that, whatever. And then over here, some people like to put a pronounced ribcage. I don't really. So I just, because your ribcage does stick out around here, but I don't do it very pronounced, so I just, maybe like that. You just indicate it, that it's there, so you just go out a little bit and then inward, so that you can get to the stomach, torso, abdomen, whatever you want to call it. So you can also make a line there, if that helps. And this pen is running out. Okay, so here is another pen. So then on for, and this one's also running out. Joy to the world. So here's a collarbone. I keep calling it the collarbone, sorry. The hip bone. And it comes out. And I need another pen. I've had these microns for 3 years, so you can see that they are drying up. So it doesn't come out that pronounced, I just drew it that way for whatever reason. But it comes out like that, then here's the muscle, and then it goes in. So there's nothing special here. It's kind of like that, but it's pretty much round the whole way. And you just, if you want to really indicate that the knee is here, you can just do a small little outward curve. Very, very minuscule. So there's the knee. And then this is the part of the calf that's right here, but since it's on the other side, you don't really see it. And you don't even see this line, to be honest, but you can put that there if it really helps you. And this part goes in very slightly, like goes out slightly, I mean. And then has a very, very, very small curve that goes inwards. Like so. So if it helps, just practice an almost straight line yet not. So out a little bit and then curves inwards and then it becomes kind of straight and curves outwards again. It's some of the body figures, like body shapes and lines, are a bit difficult to do. But there that is, and then this, you don't do much, you can just indicate it by making a little thing right there. And this arm, since the bicep is facing this way, this will come with a bump and then go inward, like so. And then this part, which is right here, will have a muscle right there, so that will have a bumpy part right there. And I'm just gonna quickly do this part. So right here again, with the neck and the skin that comes out from behind. And it kind of goes up for the shoulder blade. And it's pretty round. It's not like pointy or anything, but some people like to draw it pointy, so if that's what you're into, then go ahead, knock yourself out. This pen is also dying on me, so I had to make a huge line for that. I'm sorry, but it's the same as this, basically. And this, you don't really indicate that the elbow is there. It's almost straight. And yeah, it's pretty much the process of how I keep my proportions. I just use shapes that are somewhat similar. I look at the human body and then I make shapes out of them that will help. So, and if you're gonna make a pose, you can basically just do the same thing, just move the tubes around, because I'm not one who does like the whole stick thing where you like have that and then like it can help you, but for some reason it just doesn't work for me. All that much. Like, you can see this is where the legs are and all that, but I need some dimension, so I do it this way. And I'm sorry, this video is very long. Incredibly long, actually. So there's that. It's probably sideways for you guys, but whatever. And that is just how I keep my proportions for the body in general. I hope you guys learned something from this or got a few tips or something. If not, then maybe this technique is just not for you. Again, this is my version, and sometimes I like to draw in the skeleton because I'm crazy. Like the ribcage, it comes in this way. The bone goes into the deltoid over here, shoulder, whatever. And then draw the bones and all that good stuff. Ball and socket joint, you know. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!